since the day you were born. Always deep diving in.
Who's in there?
Pools of adrenaline.
There we go.
You better take control, cause this life will take its toll. Wait for you to try to make my life, cause you're trying to reach your soul. Well, I guess you don't know.
Well, welcome to the Model S premiere.
All right.
I hope you like what you see.
Yeah.
You're looking at what would be the world's first mass-manufactured electric car. And you know, this is I think a car that's really going to show what's possible with electric vehicles. You know, when we first unveiled the Roadster, people said, "Oh, you know, you can't really, you'll never bring that car to market. If you do, nobody's going to buy it." And that turned out not to be true. So people should have complete confidence that you know, this car is going to come to market. I think we can do it in about 2 years. And I'll tell you a little bit about the car, and then I'm going to hand it over to JB to talk a little bit more about the technology, and to Franz to talk about the design. So we wanted a car that was beautiful and functional. And you know, that's a difficult thing to do, because you can make something look very good if you cheat a little bit on the proportions and you don't give it any trunk space, and you make it very low and all that sort of thing. But if you want to have something which is functional and beautiful, very difficult. But I think we've achieved that here. This is a car that actually has more trunk space than any other sedan on the market, including much bigger sedans. It has more cargo space than most SUVs, because the front is a trunk and the rear is a trunk. We've got the battery pack between the two axles. The motor is behind the rear axle. So that allows us to have the rear seats fold forward, and the trunk is actually a 4-bar linkage hatchback. So you can actually, in this car you can fit a surfboard, a 50-inch TV, and a mountain bike at the same time. You'll also be able to fit 7 people in this car, although this is initial prototype, so we don't have the 2 rear-facing child seats. But this will be a true 7-seater with, by that I mean 5 adults and actually 2 kid seats. I have 5 kids, so that's important. This will be 5-star crash rated. It'll have, you know, all the safety features that you come to expect, and with the battery pack and the floor pan, this thing's going to corner like it's on rails. It's going to have the lowest center of gravity of almost any car on the road. You'll need a spatula to turn this thing over. So in terms of the range is obviously an important consideration for a car that is a pure electric vehicle. So how will we address the range? Well, we're going to have the Model S is going to have up to a 300-mile battery pack. It'll have a 45-minute charge time, and we're designing the battery pack such that it can be switched out faster than you can fill a gas tank. No exaggeration. So I think that should address the range issue. And performance-wise, we're talking just for the basic vehicle, 0 to 60 of under 6 seconds. We want to have a performance version. It won't be the first year of production, but around the second year of production, we'll have a performance version, 0 to 60 well under 5 seconds. Top speed, electronically limited to 130 miles an hour, so you should be okay on that front. And then the starting price of this car, we feel very comfortable that we can achieve a $49,900 starting price, which is extremely important for something that we want to make as mass market as possible. And now this $49,900 after taking into account the federal tax rebate of $7,500. But that doesn't tell the whole story. For the $49,000, you actually need to take into account the much lower cost of electricity versus gasoline. And if you assume gas goes to around $4 a gallon, which it'll easily do, it'll go way past that point. And current California electricity rates, that's like taking $10,000 to $15,000 off the price of the car. So this is effectively like a $35,000 car in effective cost of ownership. And so we're basically about the cost of a Ford Taurus. So we'd rather have this or a Ford Taurus. Difficult question. So, and some people will say, well, the average consumer isn't going to do a net present value calculation. That's okay, they don't need to. Just compare the lease cost of our car versus the lease cost of a gasoline car, and we will offer leasing for this car, and add back in the cost of electricity and the cost of gasoline, and you have your savings from day one. It's an immediate apples-to-apples comparison. US or Europe or Japan could afford, and we're producing this at about 20,000 units a year when production scales up.
I'm not going to make up your drink.
And then beyond this will also serve as a learning platform for our third generation, where we should probably be about 4 or 5 years, and that's where we want to be under $30,000 a car. So with that, let me hand it over to JB to talk a bit about the technology.